Gee willikers, I really wish I had somebody here to just spend Christmas with. Or maybe even to just spoil a movie for me, anything.
Oh!
Santa?
Yes, Glenjamin. It is me. No, sorry, not Santa. It's me, Spoiler Claus. Santa's stepbrother.
Oh, wow.
Yes. The following podcast contains spoilers for babes in Toyland. You have been warned.
No, I want an officer red undercover knife 200 cal rifle.
You'll shoot your eye out, kid. Merry Christmas. Ho, ho, ho.
Oh my God! Santa here? I know him.
Oh, these cookies! I gotta get the recipe from Les. Put that cookie down now!
Yes, this Christmas music. It's joyful and triumphant.
Oh, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of KFR News Radio. This is your host, Benjamin Button, along with your host, Spoiler Claus.
Might be the dumbest one we've ever done.
That is hilarious, though. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. How you doing, Glenn?
Oh, I'm not bad. I'm really tired. You know, the season's hitting us hit there at the movies. You know, we're waiting for some big leagues to come and investigate our buildings and be like, yeah, you look good, and then walk away. So just very tired from all of that. And
Yeah.
Spider-Man hasn't even hit us yet. So,
Yeah.
Oh, boy, can't wait.
Can't wait. What have you watched any movies in the past week with your busy schedule?
Oh, my busy schedule. I've watched one movie and I started rewatching a show, getting ready for the new season of that show. But I will start with the movie first.
Well, I know that's a lie. I know you for a fact you've watched at least 2 movies.
2 movies, yes, indubitably. The first one was Unforgivable, with Sandra Bullock, and Viola Davis, Vincent D'Onofrio, and John Bernthal, about her being
Unforgivable?
Unforgiven. Period. Just she went to prison for murder and came out of prison on good behavior, and just the world just despises her, and she tries to find her sister, who she lost contact with once her little sister got adopted. So it was a decent movie. Like, I didn't have a bad time with it or anything. A lot of people are like, oh, this is nothing like the book. And I'm like, I didn't care for the book because I didn't read it.
It's almost as if there's 2 different mediums.
So who knows? If you read the book, I'm sure you like the book more. If you watched the movie and didn't read the book, you're probably gonna like the movie more, like I did. I thought it was decent. Sandra was great as always, and so was everybody else. But after that, I decided to rewatch The Witcher. The first season of that, obviously, because I'm pretty sure this week that we're recording, the 20th actually, is when the new season drops, and I'm trying to get ready for that because I loved the first season of The Witcher.
Faux show.
But other than that, yes, dear Miguel, what do you have?
Well, you straight up lied.
I did because I want
seen
you to
3
talk
movies.
about it.
So the first movie I watched last week, I rewatched The Matrix in IMAX with you because I have. I'm assuming you as well because you're younger than me. Had never seen it in theaters before, and
This is true.
They
Facts.
re-released it on IMAX. So we went and put our peepers on that at a very late show that got out at like 1 a.m. And we were both tired boys afterwards, but it was a good time.
It was
It was a good time. Good movie, still good. Cool seeing it with surround sound for once. That was
definitely
really cool.
great to see in IMAX. Period.
Absolutely. It's just funny how dated the computers are nowadays. Because that was like high tech back then. I'm not talking like the dystopian Matrix computers, but like the computers. He was a hacker. He was supposed to have like state of the art computers back then.
And they had floppy disks and everything.
Floppy disk, yeah. Then I watched, so a few months ago, for those, if anyone does remember this, I watched the original Japanese horror movie, Dark Water. This week I watched the American remake version. This year I've been trying to watch like original foreign films and their American remakes relatively close to each other. It's a fine movie. It's exactly, for the most part, like the Japanese version. I think the Japanese version's a little creepier and a little less annoying, if that makes sense. So it's fine, but it's not great. I didn't even like the Japanese version that much, but the Japanese version's obviously better.
Yeah.
Then I watched the original 1961 West Side Story in preparation for, us watching West Side Story together, and then having technical difficulties with a review. The second movie I watched after the 1961 West Side Story was the 2021 West Side Story, which we recorded a review, but there are technical difficulties, so it will not be released. Glenn, what did you think of West Side Story?
I enjoyed West Side Story. I thought it was a very fun time, very safe movie for sure.
Yeah, it was fine. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of West Side Story, but yeah, it's a fine movie. If you like West Side Story, you're gonna like it. Then I found myself on a plane for some reason.
Wow.
So I thought, I'll just watch some movies on this plane. It's not going anywhere, so I'll just turn on some movies.
It's a good place to watch them.
Yeah, first movie I watched was called Mogul Mowgli, which is with Riz Ahmed, Stony Award-winning Riz Ahmed. I think he won a Stony at least.
I'm pretty sure he won one.
Yeah, but anyway, he in this he plays a Pakistani rapper, a British rapper who is of Pakistani descent, and he finds himself having like this autoimmune disease where his muscles start atrophying, and he starts like getting weak and everything. And while he's trying to like heal, he misses out on a big tour, and while he's trying to heal, he kind of like bonds, I guess, with his Pakistani culture, kind of realizing, things aren't going the way he wanted them to, so he might as well make the best of it. It's a pretty good movie. I enjoyed it. It's very independent. I feel like I'd probably like it more if I liked rap, but I don't like rap, so...
No, I think you just got to change your ways entirely.
No, I'm fine, thanks. No, but there's a lot of musical sequences where I feel like if you liked rap, you'd probably be really into them, and I was just like, can we get to the story bit? But yeah, it's a good movie. The lyrics in the rap were relevant to the story. I just, prefer to not listen to rap personally.
Understandable.
But at least it's not country, so there's that.
Oh, yes.
Then the second movie I watched on the airplane was called The Last Leonardo, which is a documentary about this painting that is widely... people have said it is The Lost Leonardo is what it's called. People have said it's a Leonardo da Vinci painting that had been lost to time. And there are a lot of people who don't agree with that. Apparently, like, the authentication process takes like years, if not decades. And the people who bought it essentially like pressured people to say it was a Leonardo da Vinci so they could make a profit off of it.
Yeah.
And they ended up being like the most expensive painting of all time. It sold for $500 million. The Prince of Saudi Arabia has it.
Jesus.
It's a whole thing. I feel like if I liked art a bit more, like painting art, history and all that, I would have really loved it. If you're not interested in that, it's a good documentary, but it's not gonna,
completely
be
wow
crazy.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then the maniac who was in the plane, in the front of the plane, flew us to Los Angeles for some reason.
What?
I
What a
thought we were just
weirdo.
watching movies and sitting in the Philadelphia tarmac. I don't know. No. So yeah, I went to LA for a film festival. After the film festival, I went to the TCL Chinese Theater. It was closed because Ben Affleck and George Clooney just had a film premiere there. But I got to see the outside of it, and then I got to go into their updated theaters, which are not technically part of the same building, but owned by the same people. So it's still technically the TCL Chinese Theater. It's really nice on the inside. It's got some of the handprints and cement and all that. But we saw me and my friends saw the movie Don't Look Up, which is Adam McKay's newest movie with Leonardo DiCaprio, Jennifer Lawrence, Jonah Hill, Meryl Streep.
That's the one that's on Netflix, right?
It will be. It's not on there yet. But it's for some reason, it's got a 55% on Rotten Tomatoes. Last time I checked, at least it might be higher or lower by this point.
Mm-hmm.
Legitimately, I do not understand how people dislike this movie.
Weird.
Like,
Maybe
I understand
it's like the star power and they expected more or something.
Maybe it is. If you know Adam McKay's movies like Vice or The Big Short, the editing style is kind of sloppy, but it's done on purpose for comedic effect.
Yeah.
So I could see people. This wasn't so much a documentary as those were, or like those were. It was a narrative film, but they were told like it was a documentary in a way. Whereas this is just straight up fiction.
Yeah.
But I loved it. It's definitely in my top 10. I'm debating whether or not it's higher than it currently is. I have to think about it, but I absolutely loved it. It's, if you don't know what it's about, it is about these astronomers who discover a 5 kilometer wide, I think it was 5 kilometers. It might be, I don't remember exactly how big it was, coming straight for Earth. Like they did the math, there's going to be an impact, and it's going to be an extinction level event. They go and tell the government, and the government's like, "Ooh, it's midterms. It's kind of a bad time for us."
Yeah.
So it's kind of just the frustration of getting people to believe scientists when like there's a life and death situation.
Yeah, it's crazy when somebody's like, "Yeah, we're probably going to die if this thing hits us," and they're like, "Well, are we?"
Jonah, in my opinion, is Leonardo DiCaprio's best role.
Oh wow!
Because he maybe not his best, his most different, because he usually plays like strong characters. In this, he's very nervous and weak, and I've never seen him like that in any movie. So he was like, it was just cool seeing him in something different.
Yeah.
Jonah Hill's fucking hilarious. He's supposed to be like he's the son, the spoiled son of the president and everything, and just telling people that they need to like chill. It's just, he's playing himself essentially, but like being a high politician.
Yeah.
And telling people to
at the
chill
same
is just
time.
hilarious. Yeah, so it's a really fun movie. Highly suggest people check it out. And also check out TCL Chinese Theater. It's pretty cool. And then I flew back home and watched Babes in Toyland. Not on the plane, but when I got back home. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. And then for the 1001 Movies project I'm doing, I watched the Jungle Book, the 2016 version, because for some reason that's in there.
Did you not watch that one yet?
No, I had. I'm just rewatching the ones I've already seen. So, yeah, there's that. But yeah, without any further ado, let's get into Babes in Toyland.
Why is Mary marrying this terrible old Barnaby instead of his friend?
Because Barnaby bought the mortgage on her mother's house and said he'd throw them all out in the street if she didn't.
There's trouble in Toyland.
Dear friends and neighbors, as justice of the peace of Toyland, it falls within my power to join this handsome couple. Well, anyway, this couple in matrimony.
The wicked Barnaby Barnacle wants the beautiful Mary Contrary to be his bride.
Barnaby Barnacle, do you take Mary here to be your bride, to have and protect as long as you both shall live?
I do. I absolutely, yes, I do.
In that case...
She doesn't love him. She loves Jack. And she really shouldn't be marrying you.
A young girl wakes up in a realm of Toyland, where she teams up with her family and friends to overthrow the evil villain, Barnaby.
Ooh, yes. Directed by Clive Donner, or Donner. I'm pretty sure it's Donner. Written by Paul Zindel, based on the book by Glenn McDonough. It's starring Drew Barrymore, Richard Mulligan, Eileen Brennan, Keanu Reeves, Jill Sholin, Googie Gress, Pat Morita is in there. Pretty sure that's the only people of note. But yeah, this was a streaming roulette choice. I had seen it when I was a kid. A family I hung out with a lot. You know, they babysat me and everything there. They loved that movie, so I'd watched it a lot. And so we watched it, and things happened.
Oh yeah. So many bubbly charms in my stomach. So many butterflies, if you will. Yeah, I guess what was this in competition with? Ernest Christmas.
Ernest Saves Christmas and the animated Grinch movie.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it beat those out. IMDb. So this is kind of the version we watched is much shorter than the original version. The original TV version is 2 hours and 20 minutes. Thank Jesus Christ that the version that we got to watch on Prime Video was only an hour and 35 minutes.
I'm curious what the 40-minute difference was.
I watching it, like, there was a few things that I could tell, like, that they could have probably expanded on, but 50 minutes worth of stuff?
Yeah.
I can't imagine what they could have added on to be that much longer. But yeah, it's a TV movie, so it's, you know, it's kind of cheap. It's not expected to be, especially back then, because TV didn't have the same budgets or style as it does now. But it's, you know, rewatching it, it's definitely flawed. But as far as a TV Christmas movie goes, it wasn't terrible.
That's for sure. I mean, my impressions of it is that it definitely had a lot of charm going for it, for sure.
Yes. It's campy as fuck, but it's charming.
It is super campy, but like I thought I was gonna have a worse time with it, especially the beginning when you know, the store owner was kind of being
creepy,
very creepy, like flirtatious with the older sister, and I was like, ugh, she's probably like 16 in this movie, and he's probably like 56 at the least. Ooh, this is weird. And then it gets into it, and then it doesn't change that plot, but at the same time, it makes it Christmassy and a little, you know, more magical, shall I say?
It's Christmas pedophilia. It's a little bit.
It's a different brand.
To clarify, the character is like 16 years old. The actress playing her is like in her early 20s when it was shot. But yeah, it's I think the biggest thing I kind of enjoyed about it is that it's kind of like The Wizard of Oz, where the main character gets knocked out, and then these characters that were introduced to us in the real world are now characters in the fantasy world, the dream world that she's having. It just kind of makes it for a fun thing. And Eileen Brennan, who plays her mom in the real world, and then the woman in the shoe in Toyland, she's hilarious. If you didn't recognize her, she plays Mrs. Peacock in the movie Clue.
Oh.
And she's a hilarious actress, and she's not in this very much, but when she is, she made me laugh. I think she's a very, you know, funny comedian, and yeah, I enjoyed that. I think Richard Mulligan was good as Barney.
I think he might have actually been my favorite part of the whole thing.
Yeah, he was really good
when he wasn't being when his character wasn't creepy as shit.
And that was the writing fault, not so much his fault, because he sold it. He sold the creepiness.
He was great as both characters, indefinitely, for sure. But yeah, other than that, I think he definitely killed it as, you know, the villain of the movie, and it was just so just charismatic with his role.
He was
when he was in Toyland.
Yeah,
it was fun, a lot of fun to see, because it looked like he was definitely having fun. With Drew Barrymore, whenever I see her in these younger roles, it's weird for me, because she reminds me of one of my little cousins who's like 12, but they like have the same mannerisms and everything, and it freaks me out. I'm like, oh god, she reminds me of Michaela so much. I can't stand it. It's driving me insane. How dare they be so identical in a way?
How dare they? Yeah.
It's also really weird to see her so young, and I haven't seen anything where she's like this young. Not even E.T. No.
Oh, you haven't seen E.T.?
No, not fully at least.
She's maybe like 5 or 6 years younger in E.T. So it was just kind of. I know it's kind of the point of the movie, but every time she said, "I'm not a kid," I kind of laughed. I'm like,
I was like, "Oh, you're a kid.
You're a kid, and you were a much younger kid in E.T."
When you were saying the Wizard of Oz, how it felt like that, it also made me feel like this was kind of like a Alice in Wonderland of sort too, because
I could see
the way Georgie Porgy like first gets introduced in Toyland, he's like, oh, get out of my way, like kind of like I'm late, like White Rabbit. So like it definitely seemed like a mix of both worlds, but you know, more festive.
More festive indeed. I don't. It's a movie that like I don't really have too much to say. The one thing that probably stuck with me the most is the music. It is a musical, but like as soon as they started singing the Cincinnati song, I was like, oh yes, I remember this.
I'd never met anybody from Ohio that was that happy to be from Ohio.
I know a couple people who are actually, one of them's from Cincinnati. I don't know who, where the other one's from. He might be from Cincinnati too, but apparently Cincinnati is the safe haven in all of Ohio. But in that song, like, it's so obvious that something bad's gonna happen, not just because the story needs it.
Yeah,
but Keanu Reeves is not driving responsibly at all.
You can even see it on his face. He's like, oh. While he's singing, he's like, "Oh shit!" But he keeps singing.
He doesn't do anything to correct it at all. He doesn't slow down. He doesn't ease off the gas and put a little bit on the brake. He's just like, "Oh well, this is just gonna happen, I guess." Oh, keep going. And he was, "Oh, I have a 4-wheel drive." That's not gonna matter.
We could do it.
That's not gonna matter when there's that much snow on the ground. But the songs are catchy. There's the wedding, the happy wedding song that they play at the beginning with when Barnaby's about to marry Mary. That song I remembered, like, I was just like, I don't remember the words, but I remembered the melody. I was like, yeah, there's that. And then of course the Babes in Toyland. So, no matter how I feel about this movie, the songs are catchy enough for me to remember them.
Yeah, there's something about this. I had laying it out there. I think I even said this last. I'd never seen this movie, but there was something that seemed so familiar about it. Like that. If you did even catch glimpses of it, you're gonna feel like, oh, I remember that. Like I remember seeing that at one point. Like just with the toy maker and everything, and Mr. Miyagi being the toy maker or toy
Japanese
master. I'm
Santa.
sorry. Yep. Just seeing him and some of the songs and just some of the moments in it. Like if you've never seen it, you're definitely gonna be like, oh, that's I had seen that in the past. Holy shit, that's mind blowing that I would just remember this out of nowhere, like I did. So that that was pretty cool for me, at least. To be like, whoa.
Yeah, I mean, it is a very like 80s cheesy movie, but it's memorable, which is more than most movies can say.
For sure.
The acting from the kids leaves a lot. I think Keanu's pretty good in this.
Yeah.
For the subject matter he gets. I guess the biggest problem I have is just Drew Barrymore. She's still a child actress at this point. She's acting like a child actress.
Yeah,
but like Mary's fine, Georgie Porgy's fine.
I wish she was younger, if anything.
Yeah, if she was younger, it would have made more sense.
If she was younger, kids deny that they're kids at that age, for one, and also I feel like the way she acts in this movie, for sure, she would just be younger if she was acting that way. Like she'd be like, she just doesn't remember anything. She's very should say immature, not like being like, oh, you're being immature, but like just actually just not an adult in any way. But she's constantly like, oh, I'm not a kid, yada yada. If that's making any sense, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
I get it.
Yeah.
I don't have too much to say.
Yeah,
it's a fine movie.
Yeah.
It's better than I thought it was going to be, because I didn't have too fond of memories of it, and like the IMDb ratings and 5.4. So, but it's for an 80s TV movie, it's pretty solid. Like it's no first half of it.
Yeah.
But like it's it could have been a lot worse.
I think for sure it shouldn't be overlooked when it comes to Christmas movies.
No, yeah, especially if you got young kids. It's definitely for younger kids. But
I definitely didn't fall in love with it or anything like that. But it definitely shouldn't be overlooked in any sort of factor.
I wouldn't have a very angry reaction if it was on, if like someone was watching it in my presence. But I'm not going to go out of my way to watch it.
Can I just say, this is a very Keanu Christmas that we're having. Like, we just watched Matrix last week. We watched Babes in Toyland.
We're going to watch Matrix Resurrections next week.
Yep. And John Wick was supposed to come out this year, too. But, it was supposed to be back-to-back with Matrix, but COVID had to happen.
Yeah. COVID.
It's just very Keanu Christmas, and I kind of love it. Yeah. Whoa.
Merry Christmas,
Merry
everyone.
Christmas. My name's Jake, or whatever.
I'm an FBI agent.
I'm a prince of a warehouse. Whoa.
Whoa. My best friend's a cookie taster. Because that's the only job a Fatty Magoo could have.
Thanks, Georgie Porgy.
But yeah, I got nothing else.
Yeah, same here.
All right, so that brings us to the judgment for Babes in Toyland. As always, it has to be unanimous decision whether or not becomes a shelf boy with the likes of Apostle and Handmaiden. Clenjamin Button, I'm going to make you go first. Does Babes in Toyland go on the shelf?
I think recalling to what I had just said about 2 minutes ago is where I didn't necessarily fall in love with it, but I did have fun with it. I don't think I'd put it on the shelf necessarily, but I wouldn't throw it in the trash or anything like that. I would tell people that, hey, have the holiday season. Maybe don't watch Christmas Story again for the 800th time this year.
You shut your fucking mouth. I'll watch it as many goddamn times as I want to.
Maybe change it up a little bit. That's all I'm saying, man.
Hey, there's time to watch Christmas Story for 24 hours and then also watch this. There's more than one day in December.
Come on, just add 26 hours to the day. Come on.
Yeah. I know, but I would agree. Like, it's a fine movie. It's, it's definitely an overlooked Christmas movie. But yeah, ultimately, it does not go on the shelf for me either.
There it is.
So Babes in Toyland does not make it onto the shelf with the likes of Apostle and Handmaiden. For those of you who listen to us every week, we cut out doing plugs, but I found something that I felt like I should plug because it's movie related. There is a documentary series, on Netflix called Voir, or Voir. It's the verb to see in French. Voir. Voyeur. I don't know.
Voyeur?
It's not voyeur. It's not voyeur. I know for a fact it's not voyeur.
I think it's voir.
Yeah, voir. But it is produced by David Fincher. And it's essentially just a bunch of video essays made by critics about specific things in film. Like, the first episode is entirely about Jaws and how it changed the filmmaker's life. One of them is about the violence of revenge movies. Another one is about the aesthetics of animation and everything. And it's just really cool. It's a really short, it's 6 episodes. They're all less than 25 minutes. One of them is 18 minutes, I think. So they vary in length. And they don't overstay their welcome. But, if you're a film lover, you're probably going to like that series. I watched it all already, and I started it.
Crazy man.
I started it today, and I ended it today. So
how many episodes?
There's 6.
6, nice.
Yeah. So that is going to be on Netflix. It's Voyeur, Voir. I am not French. It's a thing. But yeah, really cool series. Check that out.
Some of our greatest cinema challenges us to really confront our own hearts in the safety of that darkened theater. That's part of the purpose of filmmaking.
As a viewer, it's about the attraction of spectacle and to get your heart racing.
But what happens if a movie breaks these unwritten rules?
It's not just okay to tell stories about characters we don't like. It's crucial.
The thing that haunted me about this one movie is it held up a mirror.
Violence in your mind is far more powerful than violence that's actually on screen.
I think since you're doing plugs, I might as well do mine.
Oh, go for it! Yeah.
Heck yeah. I did post this on Facebook recently. This is, as most of you may or may not know, I really enjoy folklore and mythological things and like Greek and Norse mythology, and I've been getting back into it this last week. As you also may know, I'm a big video game lover. So while in the midst of watching all these videos and listening to podcasts about the mythologies and the cosmos of gods and such, I came across a little video essay called Untangling God of War, and he talks about the 2018's God of War video game and how just the characters within it and just the characteristics within it and just how good of storytelling the people who made that game are, and how you take this one character and it changes the whole, mythos of the story.
Yeah.
If I don't even know if I want to spoil it, but it's just a really good video and how they break it down. And it's only half an hour long, maybe 36 minutes to be exact. It's called Untangling God of War on the YouTube channel Good Blood.
Cool.
Loki is not an easy character to remove from Norse mythology. When it comes to the storytelling devices of the 9th and 10th century Vikings, Loki was a primary one, as the god of mischief's lust for conflict was often used as the tool to shake up the natural order of things. Loki's actions were responsible for the feuds and even deaths of many gods and giants, creation of the cosmos' greatest monsters, and is seen leading the charge against the gods of Asgard during the final battle at the end of everything, Ragnarok. The etymology of his name points to the Germanic word lok, which denoted things to do with loops, like knots or locks. He is the character that tangles plots and complicates relationships.
Yeah, so those are our plugs for this week. Like I said, we cut that segment out essentially, except for when we have something that is relevant or, we feel like plugging. We kind of got tired of just plugging bullshit. So
we wanted to be actually good when we do talk about them.
So yeah, that is the final episode of the KFR Christmas, whatever you want to call it. We are going to take a little hiatus, to enjoy the holidays and not worry about watching movies and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So we are going to be gone. We're not going to have an episode for 2 weeks. I would think I haven't talked about this with Glenn, but better to do it live. What do you think of releasing an episode on the 10th as the first one?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So our first episode back will be January 10th. Hope everyone enjoys their holidays. But of course, you still need to know what you're watching.
That's true.
You can't just, show up and not have seen the movie.
Yeah.
So it's my turn to pick the first movie of the new year. And honestly, I'm kind of glad that we have time to watch this, because I've been wanting to put this as the selection for the film, of my week. But it is 2 hours and 40 minutes, and I don't really like throwing that much movie at people.
it works though. This is the perfect time.
It is the perfect time. So we're gonna have like two weeks, maybe 3 weeks. I don't know math. 2 weeks to watch this movie, and it is called Hader, and that is going to be on Netflix. Hader, Haider. It is a Indian movie. A young man returns to Kashmir after his father's disappearance to confront his uncle, whom he suspects of playing a role in his father's fate. For those of you who don't know, that is also the plot of Hamlet, because this is based on Hamlet by William Shakespeare, written by Basharat Peer and Vishal Bardwaj. It's directed by Vishal Bardwaj. It is starring Shahid Kapoor, Tabu, Shadra Kapoor, KK Menon, Irfan Khan is in there. Rest in peace. And yeah, I have heard nothing but good things about this. I only learned today that it's based on Hamlet, so that's pretty cool. It's got great visuals from what I can tell. I think it's gonna be kick-ass. Hopefully it is.
I think it might be kick-ass too.
We'll find out together.
हैदर, मेरा इंतकाम लेना मेरे भाई से। उसकी उन दोनों आंखों में गोलियां दागना, जिन आंखों से उसने तुम्हारी मां पर फरेब डाले थे।
So yeah, that's gonna be Hader on Netflix again, Haider, and that will be our assignment for January 10th. The first episode of 2022. So thank you everyone for listening. As always, you can check out our website at www.keystonefilmreview.com. On Instagram, we're Keystone_film_review. Twitter, Keystone_film. Facebook, Keystone Film Review. YouTube, Keystone Film Review. TikTok, Keystone Film Review. And on Letterboxd, I am Mike, KFR.
And I am Glenn, KFR.
And that will do it until 2022. So happy holidays, happy new year, and we will see you then when we watch a pretty violent movie. It looks like every single poster I've seen, the guy has blood on his face, so this is gonna be crazy, hopefully.
So it's just ketchup. He missed his one French fry.
Oh
yeah.
That's less badass.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Kisses.
filthy animals.